ready to do this? All right. Coach, closing thoughts on Sunday and look ahead to Cliff Keen in Las Vegas this weekend.
Well, I guess just to reiterate a little bit what I said afterwards, and maybe I'll be a little clearer, but first and foremost, what a great atmosphere. Obviously a lot of Cyclone fans, but even some Hawkeye fans put together a really special day and a big day, and ESPN put an exclamation point on it, and so it was a really, really good day. At the end of the day, again, to be somewhat repetitive, and after looking at it a little bit, there's a couple tough calls we lost and didn't go our way. Obviously at 141 and 157 didn't go our way, and that's not throwing the officials under the bus at all. They got a tough job, and there's split-second decisions they've got to make. And I obviously got a chance to watch both of those afterwards, and I think at 141, because I've got a lot of questions about that, there's some mechanical issues that happened at the end of that match that affected the officials a little bit, just human error. I think the assistant ref hit the head ref too early, and it changed the outcome of that a little bit. So even if we would have wanted to review it, it was not reviewable after that point. At 157, they wanted to look at it really quick. I asked them to look at it. They looked at it. I was very surprised with what they came back with, but at the end of the day, that's what they came back with. And again, I think both those matches, and a lot of people that look at them and watch them over and over probably feel the same way. But at the end of the day, that's sports. And, we didn't get the calls in those situations. And again, I tell all my young coaches, especially, being an official is not an easy thing to do, especially with this high level of athletes and the quickness and the explosiveness. And so, I don't think there was any ill intent to get Iowa State in those situations at all. I just think it was tough calls, and they didn't go our way. And then obviously at 174, we got screwed up with the score, and, we were in the heat of battle. And obviously that was a big match, because I think we all knew that if we got that match at the end, we would have got the duel. So, you got three unfortunate events in a row. But, Iowa came out on top, and it was their day. And, I think we got a lot of good things out of it. I know our attitude and our mojo yesterday when we got back together on Monday was tremendous. And it doesn't surprise me, because we got a really good team here, and we got a really clear thinking team here. And, I've lost a lot in my life, and I've always learned more from losing than I have from winning. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what we're going to learn from this. And, I really like a short turnaround, especially after a loss. I like the fact that we're getting on an airplane tomorrow morning. We're going to Las Vegas, and we get a scrap with some studs. So all in all, a good thing. But Cyclone Nation, you guys showed up. You really did.
How did Anthony impress you? I mean, despite the outcome, he's clearly a guy that's willing and able to go toe-to-toe with all the other top guys.
He's a contender. He's a contender. He works his tail off. That product isn't out there by accident. And, I'm sure he put the nation at 141 on notice right there, because Real Woods is a stud. Like, that dude comes to compete. He's got a lot of savage in him. And, our savage and his savage, it was a heck of a match.
What's the message to the team after something like so close, obviously being right there and moving forward from now?
I told him immediately after the match that I love their effort. There was a couple places where we probably could have got a little bit more, but for the most part, up and down the lineup, I thought our effort was good. If you look at the stats afterwards, it's kind of like one of those football games where you got twice as many rushing yards and you lose the game. And that's just sports sometimes. So, I thought we got after them in most cases, and I thought the effort was really good. And if we continue to do that all year long, and make those technical tweaks, we're gonna like what we got at the end.
How valuable is an event like the Cliff Keen Invitational in developing your team toward where you want them to be in March?
I think it's great. I think it's an opportunity for us to. If you see it, what is there, 16 or 15 out of the top 20? 16 or 15 out of the top 20 teams. So, throw the seeds out, throw the rankings out. It'll be helter-skelter by the time we get back, and they'll all be shuffled.
With the goal this season being a top 5 team, you wrestle against a team in Iowa that is routinely in that area. Where do you kind of measure yourself after that? Where do you guys kind of feel you're at right now?
It's a long ways away. It really is. I know we're capable of that. So, we can't focus on March right now. We got to focus on this weekend. But this team's got a lot of potential. I always say if I pick up the newspaper on March 21st or whatever the day the NCAA tournament's over, and this team's right near the top, it won't surprise me.
You said Casey Swiderski had the best 2 or 3 weeks of practice you had seen before, not this weekend, but the weekend before the Wisconsin duel. He's proven out to have taken leaps and bounds from last year to this year. How have you seen him grow?
No, he's grown a lot, and Casey's hard on himself. I think when he really goes out there and wrestles free and takes, he's just a guy that's hard on himself. You can see sometimes in a match when things go wrong, he's dropping the F-bomb, and it's not at anybody out there, it's at him. He's his own worst critic, and so we got to quit having him pick on him, and as he starts to control those emotions and just opens up and wrestles, he's going to continue to get better because he's got a lot of tools.
At the post-duel press conference, I don't know if you listened back to it or not, but he talked like a team leader. Like, he had a lot of very insightful things to say. Have you seen him take on a leadership role in the room?
He's kind of a quiet leader right now. We had a run this morning. He won every lap. He's competitive as heck. He wins everything he can win. And you don't need to say a lot when you're doing that. Now, I'm sure as he gets older, he'll get more verbal. But, I did hear his press conference in that, he hears the right things. I mean, he understands. And he put out what he hears a lot. So I like that.
You said before that you want to see Kyson do those little things, to reach his potential. Do you feel like after a loss, he's continued to do those things right now?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's been literally, 48 hours. So the next 48 hours and how he feels off the scale in Las Vegas will show me. But, what I saw this morning, he was good. And, if we travel. And, you got to manage your weight a little different when you travel. You don't get the luxury of just running to the gym anytime you want to run to the gym. And, you got stewardesses feeding you goldfish and Diet Coke and pretzels and goldfish and Diet Coke. And sometimes you got to say no. So.
I feel like Younger's a guy who's continued to show, like, at as a smaller heavyweight, his explosiveness. I mean, what is his ceiling right now as a guy, who just continues to, for lack of a better term, explode and just really show off his potential so far?
He's obviously super athletic. To me, the telltale sign with Younger will be is he's got to clean up his technique. He's gotten by in his athleticism so much that, I think he takes bad shots. And I'll tell him that. He takes bad shots, and you take a bad shot against a really good seasoned heavyweight, you're done. Because those guys know how to shut you down. And so he's got to clean that up, and I challenge him all the time. And sometimes you learn your best lessons out there, just like we had some guys learn some lessons Sunday. So I'm curious to see if he makes those adjustments. And I'm not saying he's not coachable, but I think he's got that confidence, like I always got it, and I'm not sure he's got it yet. Yeah, I got to see him go out and wrestle a clean match. I'd rather have you take 3 shots and they be really good shots instead of 9 shots and they're all so-so, because those will get you beat.
How would you describe his bond with Anthony, not just as their countrymen, of course, but seem to have the same type of mindset in terms of their devotion and commitment to the sport?
No, they grew up together. I mean, how cool is that? But I don't think there's a lot of, world-class wrestlers in Cuba. The ones that are world-class, we got a guy in our regional training center, Ranieri Ortega. He's like world-class, 2-time world champ. And Anthony and Younger are very world-class. So that's a small pocket. So those guys it's a small fraternity there. So those guys have known each other since they've been little.
I know this is sort of unrelated, but you've been planning on having a wrestle-off for the last couple of weeks. I'm assuming that's not happening this week. Are you still planning on having a wrestle-off at some point?
We'll kind of see what happens at the competition.
Okay.
There's probably maybe another, right now I think we're pretty set, but I like to keep them on the hot seat a little bit and how you perform. We got 10 guys going to an open tournament in Nebraska. Some quality guys, we got Redding going, we got Kreischer going, we got a bunch of guys going. So, I got to go see those guys. If they go light it up and, we struggle somewhere, maybe we'll have a wrestle-off. But right now, it's 10 guys, and that'll be until we get to go to Nashville in a couple weeks, and then we'll see. We'll probably take 5 or 6 extra guys to Nashville with us. All right, guys.
All right,
Thanks.
thank you much.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Coach.
Coach.
Appreciate it.
Yep.